Well, I'm here today with Will Kintish. Will and I go back a long, long way. When we first met 30 odd years ago.
At least.
And I was running my video business. You were at the Gribble Evans and Franks in Manchester, Peter Street.
I was an accountant.
And you told me I'm going to be starting a new business shortly, Bill. And I was busy doing my stuff, you were busy doing your stuff. Here we are today, September or something. 2019, 30 odd years later.
Quite October, Bill, but never mind.
October! and we're here now talking about literally Will's, for those who know him, will know him, or those who don't know him, then you're in for a treat. Because Will, over the 30 odd years that he's left his accountancy
20
practice.
years, Bill, 20 years.
20 years.
Yeah, we've known each other for 30.
Oh, sorry, yeah, 30 years. And,
you were never good at numbers, were you?
Maths is not a strong point.
Neither was I. That's a big problem when I was an accountant.
And the reason for doing this video is to help people who find themselves in a position where they're at a crossroads in their life, or the people who've been, for whatever reason, they've had to change their job. We arranged this interview about 3 or 4 weeks ago, and since then there's been lots of things that have happened in the UK marketplace that have sadly affected thousands of people. So this is for the people who are looking to start basically looking to produce an income stream, or to go for a new job or a new interview. And at that level, it's about giving advice as to how they can start to become more effective in promoting themselves and being a networker. And it's arguably with yourself, you are one of the UK's leading experts in networking. And just Google it, you'll find it that I'm right on that analysis. So if you'd like to talk a little bit about yourself and what you've been doing to help people who are looking to basically help themselves to become better at what they do.
Okay, thanks, Bill. So, 35 years accountant, last 20 years showing people how to become more confident and more effective networkers. That's it. And I've been doing basically that for nearly 20 years now. There's so much misunderstanding about networking, which is great for me, because people think, oh, I'm too quiet, I'm an introvert, I'm not a salesperson, I'm a technician, I'm an engineer, I'm an accountant, I can't network, that's not for me. Well, the irony is, Bill, it's for everybody. Because networking, we do it every day of our lives. We do it since the age of 2. Networking is building relationships. So every day we either build a new relationship with somebody we're meeting, or like we're doing, we're reinforcing existing relationships with people we already know. And taking it down to its absolute basics, it's just talking to people. So I've been earning a living, Bill, for 20 odd years now, teaching people how to talk to each other. What do you reckon to that?
It seems like you're not going to run out of people to speak to.
I've got to tell you, whilst I have lots of holidays and I go hiking, in between that I work full time. I love what I do, like you do. I just love it. I tell people, it's my birthday today. Oh, happy birthday. So don't sing, because I tell people every day is my birthday, and I just love helping people. Okay, I get well paid for it, but as long as I charge them that amount and the value they get is that, I'm happy.
Right.
So networking is building relationships. There are 3 key steps to building relationships. The first step is to get to know somebody. So if people are out of a job, or they're changing their careers, or they want to get involved in new activities, they have to raise their profile and they have to go and meet people. There's only 2 ways in our lives to make things happen. One is to be reactive and one is to be proactive. Networking is about being proactive. So the first step is to get to know somebody. The second step in building relationships. If you want a relationship to go past 2 minutes, people have got to like you. There has to be rapport between us. And that is the most important part of networking, getting people to like us. And the third step in building relationships is trust. Know, like and trust. So how do we get people to like us? Well, it's very simple. Let's make sure we spend more time being interested than interesting. That's number one. Let's smile a lot. Let's talk, chit chat. I often say to people, don't go into business into business discussions right at the beginning. Get a nice conversation going outside business. Every relationship starts somewhere with the know, K-N-O-W. So what's the icebreaker question? It should never be, oh, nice to meet you, what do you do? Ignore that. Hi, nice to meet you, Bill. Where have you travelled from today for this event? Oh, hi, Bill, nice to meet you. What made you come to the event? Oh, hello, Bill, nice to meet you. Isn't this a magnificent venue? So we have nice, simple, small talk questions to get the show on the road. That's how we get. And then, so that way, we can start a relationship with something in common. That's people like people who are like them. So leave the business out until later. In fact, I say to many of my audiences, networking is nothing to do with business. Can I tell you when business will happen? The only time business will happen, it's simple as this. When you have a product or service, you meet somebody who has a need for that product or service, but you know what, Bill? The glue in the middle is the like.
Yeah.
Because if they don't like you, even though they need your product, guess what? They'll go to your competitor. It's as simple as that. And let me tell you about the trust. Know, like and trust. How do we build trust? By being 100% reliable. So if you go to events and you meet people, and then you promise after the event to call them, to email them, to introduce them to somebody, to send them information about something, make sure you do it and do it quickly. Speed stuns. So after an event, if I promised I get somebody's business card and I promise to email them about something, I promise to introduce them to somebody, I'll try and do it within 12 hours. And that way we build trust very quickly.
So that's fantastic advice on the mechanics of being successful at networking. If we were to take it back from there, because I know personally I've been in touch with people who are quite scared at the prospect of even getting to that point in terms of they have the voice in their head.
Absolutely.
And could you just talk a little bit on that, because you will obviously have dealt with this with the people that you've assisted to overcome this.
Well, I've got to tell you, Bill, I presented over 2,000 times, I presented to over 100,000 people. Unfortunately for me, when they walk into my conference that I speak at or my training sessions, they do have the fears. And the three basic fears are, number one, fear of the unknown. Well, I'm going into this, it's like going into this deep black hole. I don't know anybody.
Perception.
Absolutely, I don't know anybody. It's a whole new environment. So that's number one, fear of the unknown. The second one is everybody's basic fear, fear of rejection. Will anyone talk to me? And let's try and destroy that for our audience today. I don't care if anyone talks to you or not. Your job is to go and talk to them. And it's as simple as this. Somebody standing on their own at an event is standing on their own, A, because they don't know anybody, and B, because they're nervous. And do you know what they're doing against that wall, Bill? Because they're always against the wall. They're never in the middle of the room. You know what they're doing against the wall? They're praying. They're praying for somebody to come and talk to them. It's as simple as this. You go up to somebody, you smile at them, eye contact. Oh, hi, can I introduce myself? My name's Will. And you are? And you are?
Bill.
Oh, hi, Bill. Repeat their name and listen for their name. Oh, hi, Bill. Nice to meet you. So where have you travelled from today? And off we go.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that. Now, I think, well, I know the reason a lot of people don't approach somebody on their own is because they don't know how to get away from them afterwards. That's a big worry, isn't it?
Yeah, because you might not like them.
Yeah, well, you might not like them, and you're stuck with them. Well, how do you get rid of them? Well, the nice way of doing it is say, well, I'm going for a drink, would you like to join me? Or, I've seen my friend Heather over there, can I introduce you? But if there's no Heathers in the room, so if neither of us know anybody in the room, what do we do then? Well, we could just walk off, but I don't like that. You simply say, hey Bill, shall we go mingle? Shall we go meet some others? So go and hunt in pairs.
Yeah.
And go and look for another group that are in an open format, not closed. Look for an open format group. Say, go up to the group, say, please may we join you. So number 1 is fear of the unknown. Number 2 is fear of rejection. And number 3, which should be everybody's fear, is fear of wasting time. And you know how you waste time? By going to an event and not talking to anybody, or going to an event, seeing people you know and spending the whole time talking to them. Now don't get me wrong, I want you to start the event talking to people you know to reinforce that relationship, but not to the exclusion of all those other new people in the room. I mean, so many people say, but Will, I go to an event and I meet a client, I can't leave him or her on their own. You know, they've just given me 20,000 quid for doing some work for them. I can't walk off. I said, well, you don't need to walk off. Go back to what I just told you a minute ago. Say, come on, client, let's go meet some others.
Yeah.
It's dead easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So when you go to an event, you need to engage. You need to talk to people the whole day. I've just come from a 4-day conference, and I saw at the coffee breaks, at lunch, in the afternoon tea, people were sitting on their own or standing on their own. Now, I wouldn't let that happen, so I always go up to them. But if I hadn't have been there, they'd have stood on their own. What a waste of time is that? So you must make the most of every second. Because networking, going to events does take up a lot of time.
Yeah.
If you take the travel time to get there, the travel time to come home and the time at the event, so value your time.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 big fears that people have got.
Just before we finish up, I've brought a book which you will be very familiar with. This is my book, which you also are a person who's read this book.
In 1998, for a hobby, I started to train as a trainer with the Dale Carnegie organisation. This book, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And as a result of me training as a trainer with Dale Carnegie, it helped me get out of accountancy to what I'm doing today. So we've talked about networking as building relationships. This book, written in 1935, is the first book on networking. Let's ignore that phone, shall we?
It's live.
It's live, absolutely. How to Win Friends and Influence People is the first book on networking. There was no mention of networking whatsoever. It wasn't even invented, I don't suppose, except if you believe in the good book, Adam and Eve were networking in the Garden of Eden all those years ago. But this is the greatest book on networking. Well, after mine anyway. Yeah. My book's called The Networking Survival Guide on Amazon. And this is on Amazon as well. But let me give you just a couple of quotes from Dale Carnegie. The most interesting people we ever meet are those who are most interested in us. So make sure you are genuinely interested in the other person. That's how we build trust. And that's how we get to like friends. And another one on names. Names are so important. A person's name, this is a Dale Carnegie quote, a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. So when you go to an event, it's not that you forget the name, it's that you're not listening. Listen for the name. If you don't hear it, ask them to repeat it.
Yeah.
And that way you're showing genuine interest. And you know what, Bill? They're never going to say to you, hey, I've told you my name once. I'm not going to tell you again. If they do, they're a bit of a weirdo, so I'd probably move off anyway at that point.
And you know the skills what to do with that as
and
well.
I've shown you how to move on at that point. You just dump them, it's called. You don't offer to take them with you. You just say, well, Bill, it's nice to have met you, and go off and go.
I'm out of here.
I'm out. Absolutely, I'm going to use that one. I'm out of here. Yeah, no, that's good. That's what we call the aha moment. Every conversation we have, Bill, you should gain something, learn something. So I'm out of here. That is a great one, Bill. I'm going to use that from
Please
now
feel
on.
free.
So
for the people, what I'd like to do is to guide them towards your content, which is absolutely first class, and it's free. So if you could just tell people where they can find out.
Okay, so I have a website, of course, called Kintish, Kintish, kintish.co.uk. Loads of free stuff on there. Go to the humorous page. There's a load of videos about how not to network. That's going to help you. And then loads of stuff on YouTube. But if you will allow me, Bill, I do run public courses in Manchester and London.
Sure, yeah.
And if anybody is interested in coming on the course and they refer to this video, I will give them a big discount.
Oh,
is
that's
that
fantastic.
fair?
That is unbelievable.
Is that fair?
That's fantastic.
And if we tell me we're about to finish this video, can I just tell you, I am and have been a utility warehouse member for many years, and honestly, I'm not just saying it, they've been fantastic, great prices and great service.
Will Kintish, great to meet up again after so many years. Fantastic.
Thanks, Bill.